Good morning, Americans. This is your favorite alien on Tuesday, February 22nd, 2022. So we're at that funny number 22222. Huh. Well, stand by for commentary. Today's commentary is the Ukraine, a runaway freight train in disaster. And here's the problem, Americans, that you got a leader in an administration that doesn't understand what they're dealing with and who they're dealing with. For the last 600 or so years, Ukraine has been the breadbasket of either Russia or the Soviet Union. Okay? Either the Russian czars under the Russian Empire, the Bolsheviks, and from 1922 to 91, the Soviet Union. And during the Soviet Union days of 22 to 91, there was a lot of things done that infuriated people inside the Russian Federation. The Russian Federation, with 6.6 million square miles, is the biggest one of the former Soviet republics. And it controlled the Ukraine. The Ukraine was given a republic status by V.I. Lenin for some reason or another. We don't know why. But it was. Shouldn't have been. Should have been part of the Russian SSR. And then, at the death of Joseph Stalin, yeah, there was a void there from 54-58. And one of the top Ukrainian guys in the Ukrainian Communist Party, whose name was Nikita Khrushchev, decided that he was going to steal one for the home team. And he got the Supreme Soviet, the rubber stamping arm of the USSR, to cede from Russia SSR to Ukraine SSR the Crimea. Yoo-hoo, that's Russian territory. Yoo-hoo, yoo-hoo. And remember that prior to 1922 and prior to 1917, Ukraine was Tsarist Russia. Ooh, yes. The Ukraine at one time was it was the home city state of Kiev. Back in the Middle Ages, when the Golden Horn was around. Okay? And then, when the city state of Muscovy, otherwise known today as Moscow, yeah, was gaining strength like Rome. Muscovy and Rome started the same way, a small city like Rome. In 509 BC, became the Roman Empire. Same with Muscovy. It was a small little town. And around, I would say 1307 forward, it started dealing with the Golden Horde, or at the time it was the Mongols. The Golden Horde was the Mongols, by the way. It's the last surviving vestige of the Mongol Empire, and it lasted a long time. And to them, the Russians were called the Tartars. Yeah, Tartars. Yes. And two little city-states gave them a hard time. Muscovy and Kiev. Yo-ho, for you history buffs. Okay? Well, Kiev got to be pretty big. Muscovy got to be pretty big. And by the 16th century, the Golden Horde was on its last legs, because they kept on eating piece by piece of the Golden Horde. And then came Ivan the Terrible, yoo-hoo, which did the last death knell on the Golden Horde. Remember Ivan the Terrible, Ivan the Terrible. Yeah, you guys forget about that, huh? And Kiev, the Ukrainians became powerful. But unfortunately, there was another state that grew up. Two states, actually. Lithuania, Lithuania, and Poland. Poland was a powerful state. And by the 16th century, Poland was really rivaling Russia. They were arch enemies. And the Lithuanians, too. And the Polish kingdom in Lithuania became a commonwealth. And they partitioned with Russia, Ukraine. The Russians got the eastern half of Ukraine, or the Eastern Bank, as they called it. Yoo-hoo! Yeah. And the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth got the western part. And from the 16th to the early 18th, they controlled it. Well, by the 18th century, there was problems in Europe. The British are becoming the powerhouse, and the Russians were becoming powerful under Catherine the Great. Yoo-hoo! Yeah, in the 1760s. Okay? And by 1795, the Polish Commonwealth was gone. Lithuania was absorbed into Mother Russia, and Poland was partitioned into Russia and Prussia. And for the next almost 200 years, there was no Poland up until the end of World War I. It was part of Russia, and it was part of Prussia, later the German Empire, under Kaiser Wilhelm. Yoo-hoo, Bill! Yeah. Same with Ukraine. It was part of Russia till 1917. Then from 1917 to 22, it was running around semi-autonomous. It was never like Lithuania, who got its independence in 1918 and got absorbed by the USSR back in 1940. Yeah, okay. Ukraine went back to Russia in 1922 as the Ukraine SSR, 1922 to 91, and from 1992 to present, Ukraine has been a disaster. Lithuania, on the other hand, has gotten its feet under its ground because it's known what it was before. The Lithuanians are a little bit better off than the Ukrainians. Ukrainians are, well, and that's not saying that they're bad. They just don't understand how to go around in a free society. They are terrible. The Lithuanians, they had that same problem, but they got used to it because they had periods of being autonomous. 1918 to 40. And now 1992 to present. So under the last 30 years, Lithuania has been doing a lot better than Ukraine. And President Vladimir Putin yesterday said he was going up to the eastern Ukraine. Well, he controlled that part. That was part of Mother Russia under the Tsars. Yoo-hoo! Mr. Biden, are you hearing me? That's why you got a lot of people that are Russian there. You don't understand that, do you? It's more than Lithuania, Estonia, and Latvia. This here, you're talking about the United States trying to get Philadelphia or Pennsylvania back. Yeah. Can you imagine if you lose Pennsylvania? Pennsylvania means a lot to the United States. You guys don't think so. But look at the Pennsylvania history. And the stuff that was done in Independence Hall and Congress Hall over in Pennsylvania. It's a lot of historical meaning to the United States. You lose Pennsylvania, you guys are shit out of luck. Do you understand me, Americans? Putin knows what he's doing, but does he understand that getting that territory back is more expensive than it was 70 years ago, 200 years ago, 400 years ago? Yeah, territory is expensive these days. And it comes at a heavy cost. Is he going to pay World War III for that? I don't think the United States will go that far. China is going to realize that Taiwan is expensive. There's a lot of expensive to this stuff. It's not like the old days where, let's go over there and get them. Yoo-hoo! Yeah. But then what is he going to do with the Western Ukraine? Because those Ukrainians are a pain in the ass. They'll be like the people over in China, the minorities that are really giving them a hard time, and the Tibetans, which giving them a hard time since '59. But you don't hear that because China doesn't publicize it. But I guarantee you that a lot of the security and military forces are being put in expensive proposition to keep these guys underfoot. Can Russia keep the Ukrainians underfoot? I don't think so, especially if they go after Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia. Those guys mean business. I don't think they want to be under the Russian yoke anymore. But that's, something to see. Do you understand, Americans, what you're dealing with here? You're dealing with a powder keg. And no matter which way you turn, that fuse is not going off. It's going to go boom. This is your favorite alien with today's commentary. Good day.